The expert panel recommended that levels should be dropped in the revised assessment arrangements for the national curriculum, and I think there were really compelling reasons for doing that. The first was that the original model of levels in the TGAT report, some teachers may remember that, was that levels should be used because this would enable kids to progress through education, not being labelled as grade D, grade D, grade D. They could show progress up through the levels, from level 1 through up 4, 5, 6. And that was laudable, and the original author, Paul Black, now agrees with us in the expert panel that the level system has become over-influenced by other factors. What that means is that kids themselves are labelling themselves as being a particular level. Oh, I'm level 3 and all my friends are level 4. And that's very dysfunctional in terms of learning. That's the first compelling reason, this idea of kids labelling themselves and that being inappropriate in learning. It can actually hold back their learning rather than encourage it. The second was undue pace. So the whole of the system has become focused on getting kids to move quickly through the levels. Maximum progress, maximum progress. Well, what we know from study of high-performing jurisdictions around the world, none of which really use a model of levels as we do. Those other jurisdictions, many of whom achieve very high standards and have improved fast, really focus on whether a child has understood the concepts, ideas, key knowledge and skills that are required in a particular phase of their learning, and ensuring that they have achieved deep, secure understanding of those things. Now, that's not levels. That's really ensuring that assessment is focused on the key content. And that's the second reason. Third reason is that it's a very, very odd idea, this idea that somebody is level 3. And we had 3 different models of this in the system. The first was they're level 3 because they've got a particular score on a national curriculum test. Well, on that test you could have picked up a large number of marks on some quite low-level items and then a few high-level items. But you kind of average out at level 3. You're not really level 3, it's because your performance is all over the place. So the level is rather odd, its validity is low. So that's the first meaning, that you are level 3 because you've got a particular score, even though those marks have been derived in very different ways. The second meaning of level 3 is that in assessing pupil performance, APP, where children and teachers were looking at examples of work, you were level 3 because your work best matched a particular level descriptor, even though perhaps you hadn't grasped some key ideas. Well, you were moved on inappropriately because you didn't have secure understanding in all the key ideas. So that's a different model of level, and it has its own educational problems. And then the third meaning of being a particular level was just in, kind of threshold. You know, thank goodness this child is level 4 at the end of primary, but they're just in level 4. Well, those are 3 different models of levels all coexisting. Teachers meaning different things, the school meaning a different thing to the state. And that's not healthy, it's incoherent. And so we did feel that there were a whole series of compelling reasons why levels should be moved away from in respect of assessment around the national curriculum. The final reason, and it is in a sense a compelling reason in its own right, is that those other nations that have improved fast and achieved very high standards and high equity and high enjoyment of their kids in respect of learning don't use levels. And there are schools like the Wroxham School in Hertfordshire, Dame Alison Peacock's outstanding school. Those schools have never used levels.